Brazil. Where on earth did that come from?
Port Talbot. Port Talbot is where Brazil was born. Port Talbot in Wales, a grim place, a place that steel mills are there. It's a weird. There was a moment when I was there promoting. I don't know what I was doing in Port Talbot. I was sitting. The sun was setting in this really grim place, and the beach was covered with coal dust, and it was awful. And I was thinking of a guy sitting there with a radio, going around the dial, and it's like the end of the world. It's post-apocalyptic, and suddenly he hears this Latin beat. And suddenly there's somewhere in the world is magic and romance and beauty. And that was in my head. It was also a product of years of frustration, either working in offices, becoming more and more frustrated about terrorism with the Baader-Meinhof gang and what was going on in Argentina and Brazil, and the way governments were dealing with, quote, terrorists. There was a lot of built-up frustration in my life that all sort of burst out, and that became Brazil. And who would have guessed that it all came true now in the 21st century in America? Homeland security, everything that Bush is saying and doing comes directly from the script of Brazil.
Which had nothing to do with 1984, did it?
Well, there was 1984 in the air. It was approaching because, in fact, we shot in 1984. And so it was floating in the air somewhere. I'd never read 1984, but I knew roughly what happened. So it was like dealing with all of those things. It's, I think at times I'm like some big receptor, and there's the big satellite dish on top of my head, and it's getting all these channels, and they're all just jumbled up, and they're going in there, and somehow they come out eventually. And that's what Brazil was. It was really a kind of cathartic response to what I thought was going wrong with the world.
Which has since got worse, then.
Yeah, well, I got out of my system, though, but the world hasn't, obviously.
So you're kind of zen about it.
Not my fault. I warned everybody. I said, come on.